Hey everyone, it's Sarah here with the Sisters Enchanted. I am alone today with no Anna. She is actually home with her sick kid today, and I am outside playing with my little one. So we'll see how this goes. So first things first, if you are watching this live, it will say live at the top of the video. If you're watching this and it does not say live, then you're watching this on the replay. So hello to you on the replay or live. And also, I sincerely apologize for sending you the 2 emails today with the corrected email. Thank goodness someone pointed out in the group that I made a typo, and I put down that I think I said both air and fire were representative of the South, which is not true. So thank goodness somebody noticed that and was like, hey, there aren't 2 Souths, right? There's only one. So yes, air is representative of the East, not the South. So my bad, I apologize. I will have to quadruple check my work next time instead of just double check, because I did reread it, so I just must have known what I was thinking and didn't catch it. Anyway, so today, yesterday we talked about kind of keeping our energy level high, our vibe high, in the midst of, you know, a crazy world that we all live in and crazy lives we all lead in 2016. And so that's like our foundation piece, right? So the next kind of level to this whole magical foundation is the elements. So this is important because a lot of what whether you will follow whatever path you choose to follow, hi there, whatever path you choose to follow, whether you just want to like dabble in magic making or just incorporate, you know, some crystals and like Zen and peace into your life, or whether you really want to, you know, follow like more of an organized path, whatever you choose to do, you're gonna come across the elements somewhere along the line. And so it's important to know what they represent, why they're important. So the 4 elements that we have are earth, fire, wind or air, and earth, fire, wind, air. What am I missing? Earth, fire, wind, and water. All right, so as I said in the email, earth is representative of north, which will come in handy, which will be important to know for our circle casting lesson, which is going to be on Thursday. So earth is representative of the north. Air or wind is our eastern point. South is fire, and west is water. So west is easy to remember, right? Because they both start with a W. So water and west, you can remember that way. And so the thing about kind of all of this like positive energy, magical stuff is kind of getting outside of yourself, right? Oh, thank you about my 2-year-old being cute. She's a little trouble though, which is probably why I put South twice in my email. Because I'm like always, you know what it's like having kids. It's crazy. And trying to do anything is near impossible. Anyway, so part of this like high energy, like elements, all this stuff, it's getting us out of our own head, right? Because if we're just stuck in our own thoughts, or, you know, if you decide to try and like whether you call it manifesting or spell casting or whatever, if you're doing these things and you're totally like just rooted in kind of like, I don't know how to say this without being like kind of soapboxy, but if you're rooted in that like I need, I want, things are negative, let's make them positive kind of thing, then nothing really works. So it's kind of like getting out of your head and just being like, you know what, I trust in the universe, I trust in what's going to happen, this is what I would like to happen, let me invite that into my life. So when we kind of are able to recognize that we're one with the universe, like we're all supporting each other, right? The universe is supporting us, like hopefully we're sending out good vibes into the universe and vice versa. And so recognizing that we're all connected, everything's connected, and kind of, this is going to sound really cheesy, but being one with our elements, right, or being one with nature is important, because going outside really is food for the soul. So even if you're not an outdoorsy person, that's totally okay, but you can bring these elements into the inside of your house. And also kind of practicing gratitude when you recognize them. Hi there. So for instance, something you could do throughout the day, like our water, right? The water element. So if you don't live near water, or maybe, I know there's some people who just like don't like being around the water for some reason, which is totally fine. But you know, your kitchen sink, your bathroom sink, whatever, those are, you know, you get water from those. So you do have exposure to these things all the time. And so it is important to be like, oh, hey, look at this running water that I have. Thank you, water. Thank you, water, for being here. Listening as I work. Awesome. Thank you for being here. And so forth. So I think you get the point. So the whole thing with the elements is not just to like know them, memorize them, but to really recognize them, kind of like feel good about incorporating that into your life. So I put in the email, kind of not a challenge, but like something to do would be to find something that represents the elements for you and bring them, you know, into your home if they're not already there. And so that could be, you don't need to drink seltzer water, kiddo. That could be, for earth, I mean, that could be just like a little tiny plant. You can actually go outside and just grab some soil. I'm late. You know, don't worry. I'm just going over the email stuff, and you can watch the replay too if you want to catch the beginning. So when you bring earth into your home, that can just be like a little something. It doesn't have to be like a giant house plant. And water could be anything from an actual like little bowl of water to flowers in a vase. It could be just something blue. I think you get the point. So fire could be a candle or something like red or orange or fiery. And what am I missing? Air or wind. So that one can be a little bit tricky because like obviously you can't really capture wind or air, right? I mean, you can I guess put a lid on a jar, but to represent it really, I mean, a feather works, something that produces sound like a bell, or like a mini singing bowl. I think you can find some of those on Etsy for a reasonable rate. That would work. A feather, like a ribbon maybe. Hi, Sarah. So all those things can be representative of air. So really just find, you know, stuff that works for you, stuff that's relevant for you, and bring it into your home. And this is kind of like our positive vibes reminder thing, right? So we see it and we're remembering like there's more going on than just us. There's more to this life than just us. And when we're able to remember those things, then whatever like magic we're trying to make or just positivity to bring into our life, or like I said, I talk about this, if you're just looking to bring something new into your home or into your life, then, you know, that stuff, it will help with that also. Let's see, I just ordered a singing bowl. You said that represents air. Yeah, so anything that makes sound can represent air. And so remember too, there's no hard and fast rules. So if for you air is like, I don't know, this might sound silly, but like a little toy airplane. Say there's this little airplane that you just like love, like a little figurine or something. Like that can totally be your air thing if you want it to be. There's nothing that's gonna be like, oh my gosh, you did that, nothing's gonna work for you. So what works best for you? But yes, sound is representative of air. And I think that's like the science behind it, right? Like sound travels through air. I don't know. So yeah, you can use something for sound. I have like a little bell that I've had forever. I think it has my birth month on it. I don't even know where I got it. Somebody must have gifted it to me when I was like a teenager, and it's been kicking around like, and so I'll use that little bell for air. So yeah, so what else was I going to talk about? Okay, so the earth represents like grounding and fertility, and I don't just mean fertility and like the baby making fertility, but fertility in like abundance, harvest, growth, you know, bringing more of what you want into your life. So if you're, say that you are looking to bring some more like motherly energy or some grounding, like you've been feeling really, you know, just like lost in yourself lately, or you know, you're trying to bring some more abundance in some way into your life, so you might want to bring some more of that earth energy into your home, right? So maybe some more of that kind of plant stuff or some green stuff into your home. The same goes with fire. So if you want to kind of light up some passion in your life, or you're doing like a self-love work or something, or working on passion or some kind of thing in your romantic relationship. Sorry, my kid is running off with my can of seltzer water. You do not need this. Oh my gosh, she's calling it a beer. How embarrassing is that? Just think it's not. It's water. I promise you. It's water. So until I tell Dada about that. Anyway, hi there. So passion. I was talking about passion, creativity, some kind of drive, motivation into your life. So that would be more, please give me this. That would be more, hello, that would be like fire. You want to bring more fire into your life, right? So that would be like your candle energy or your reds or your oranges. So if you were looking to, like I said, just like creative drive, passion, if you're feeling like stagnant, maybe some fire energy into your home. Found an old moon necklace today that has definitely motivated me. Awesome, that's awesome to hear. And so I think that you kind of get the idea. So water is our emotional element, which also like intuition and dreams. And so if you're looking to like tap into your intuition, or like you're feeling really emotional and you need to like level out a little bit, maybe bring some more of that water element in. So greens, blues, and you know, actual water somewhere along the lines. Even like sea stones or seashells or something, that could work, or some sand from a beach near you, or you know, whatever, that could work for water. And then the air one, air and wind, that's like our communication, kind of our intellect, like our thoughts, and having like clear thoughts. So if you're feeling really chaotic in your thoughts, or like you just are having a serious communication problem at home or something, you might want to bring more of that air or wind into your home. So that would be that sound, like the singing bowl, or like I said, like the ribbons kind of, or you can hang like a wind chime or feathers. Those are all good for air. So these are some more ideas to bring things into your home. And again, the idea is, one, like we're reminded and we're recognizing that we're all part of something bigger than just ourselves, like getting outside of ourselves in the universe, and getting into the universe. And also you can use specific elements when you're trying to channel something in your life, like more of something. And again, it's all like your intention when you're setting into it. So what works for you is what you should do. There's a question: how do you introduce your children to these practices? So for Anna and I, so Anna has a 5-year-old and I have a 2-year-old. So my 2-year-old's like a little bit young to really understand what's happening. But so my nephew, Anna and I, you might be like, this is surprising. Anna and I actually have a very religious family background. And so, you know, we try to be really very cognizant of making sure our children are able to choose for themselves. So like we don't, for us anyway, and this is just for us, so we don't force anything upon them. So you know, we definitely introduce them, like we both read tarot cards. Our kids, you know, my kid, like I said, she's 2, doesn't really get it, but she's, you know, no stranger to seeing tarot cards lying around. I tend to find them like tucked inside of her toys and stuff. My nephew, who's 5, he'll like lay out Pokemon cards and read them for you. It's hilarious to be like, oh, so the energy is gonna do this, and then the, you know, whatever, Pikachu, I don't know, I'm just coming up with what I know about Pokemon, but he'll lay them out and read them for you. And you know, he knows about crystals, and he has like crystals that he uses for sleep, and he has monster spray that's like special oils, and we're all about the essential oils with my 2-year-old, and she always, you know, I'm like lighting candles and have like incense in my cauldron, you know, crazy stuff. So I don't know, it's just like our lifestyle. So I guess we don't really introduce them. It's just like, you know, would be somebody who is, you know, in a house where you go to church every Sunday, you just do it, right? It's just something that you do. So for us, it's just something that we do. And then the challenge sometimes comes in when people come to our homes that are not of similar, you know, open-mindedness, I'll say. And so for me, that just becomes a matter of, I'm not one to strike like an argument. So I'm just, you know, like, you believe what you want to believe, I'll believe what I want to believe, and you know, that's cool with me. So we could be friends or not. It's really going to be up to you. If you aren't going to be accepting of me, though, then I don't want to be friends with you. So that's kind of how I look at it. Just you know, I'm not one for like confrontations about it. Yeah, exactly. So no, just incorporate it into everyday life. Like, that's what we do. So we have like our little kitchen altar space, which is just always there. And yeah, so I would just think of it like, I think it becomes a challenge because this like type of lifestyle is really in the minority. So, which, you know, it just is a challenge because you're like, oh my gosh, you know, what should I do? But just think of like any other family, like they just incorporate into their life, right? So what do we have? And not surprising at all, I love giving children their own choice based on their own experiences. Discourage any, definitely have their own individual. Yeah, so that's like what we do. We just leave it, you know, whatever. Like it's just incorporated into the day, and that's that. So if you guys ever have any questions about like kids, family stuff, please feel free to ask in the group, because my husband's family is Catholic, and my family is very religious, and you know, we're totally open to like helping you out, giving you suggestions. Nothing works for everybody though. So my best advice is always do what makes you feel good. If it makes you feel good to just like kind of keep your mouth shut and soar through life, that's okay with me. If it makes you feel good to tell people about what you want to tell them about, that's okay too. Just whatever is gonna feel good for your life. So I came from a religious family too, because of how I choose to live by example rather than preaching and getting my family depends on. Yeah, exactly. Just like lead. That's what I do. Lead by example. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm over here like talking about positive minds and things. So if anybody thinks I'm like a devil worshiper, then they're crazy. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I had a phone call coming through. Anyway, so that's our little side note. But when it comes to the elements, please feel free to share in the group the things that you choose for your items, because it might give somebody else an idea, especially if they are stuck trying to figure something out. It doesn't have to be big, it can just be small stuff. And if it is small stuff, that's awesome, because we can use this later in the week when we're gonna do like a little, like some altar stuff, making a sacred space tomorrow, and then Thursday and Friday we're gonna work with some circle casting stuff. So if you have like small ways to represent the elements, that's great, because you can move them. Okay, you can move them around your house, or move them where you need them, or where you want to use them. So I think that is it. If anybody has any questions about the element stuff, I mean, it's pretty clear to understand. The elements represent all kinds of things. So it's like really too much to get into on just like a short thing like this, but there's different gods that represent the different elements. There's seasons that go with each element. And then I mentioned colors. Right now we are in the fall season here in the what's happening here in the northern hemisphere, and so that's represented by water. So this is like our water element time. So yeah, there's tons of like layers and stuff you can dive into with the elements, but what we need to know for our purposes right now is the points that they represent, which I apologize again for messing one up in the email, but thankfully someone mentioned it to me and nobody just like, you know, was like, that's weird, Sarah. But so the points, and then just a representation for each. And just to wrap up again real quick, because I saw just a few more people joined, you know, if you find a little thing to represent each element for you, yeah, bubbles for air, that's a good one. They help us as a reminder when we're in our homes that like there's something bigger at play than just us in our lives, right? We're connected to the universe and like all this awesome stuff. And then also, you can use these things when you need to bring a little extra of something into your life. So a little bit more like grounding or some abundance. You can bring in like more of the earth stuff into your life, like, you know, trying to tap into some dreams or intuition work, or like, you know, maybe mellow out your emotions a little bit. The water stuff, light some fire in your life, your relationships, your work, your career. That could be, you know, something red, like the fire element. I found different crystals to use for elements. Yep, crystals are perfect, and they're super easy because you can transport them, you know, easily. Can you use something that would represent more than one element? Like Palo Santo, for example, could be wood, earth, fire, air. So certainly there's nothing you can use. Yeah, so you can use something that represents every element. If you're gonna set up like so yes, the answer is yes. You can certainly use something. I've used like flowers in a vase as my like earth and water before, because, you know, flowers come from the earth, and then we've got water, obviously it's water. So I've done that. So you can certainly do that. If you're doing something where you want to like show the 4 directions or place the items in their direction, so you actually want to put something like put an earth piece on the north spot, a fire on the south spot, the water on the west, and then like an air, wind on the east, then you would need 4 different things to mark that out. But if you're just doing like a small altar space or something, or just like a quick little like you know, I invite this into my life kind of thing. Certainly you can use, yes, there's water with the bubbles. You could certainly use Palo Santo or something to represent all four. There is a fifth element, spirit, which I didn't include because it's not like it's not always used, and we're not really going to use it in this 5 days, so I didn't include it in the email. But there is the fifth element of spirit, which would be represented in the center typically of the 4 points, and that's kind of like oh my gosh, my kid almost fell off the stairs. There's like this, like that's like your the higher level stuff. So if you're thinking it's like our arts, our music, healing, it's kind of like, you know, all the really cool stuff that is like beautiful and, you know, that we bring into the earth ourselves. And oh my goodness. So yes, so there is that fifth element of spirit also. I use an abalone shell for water, earth in it for earth, charcoal burning for fire, and incense burning for air is quick portable altar. Yep, that sounds awesome too. So these are all great ideas. So if you guys share your ideas or pictures or whatever in the group, then people who are like totally new or can't think of something might get some ideas too. So help each other out. So that is it for our little, hey Ann, that's it for our earth or our elements chat for now. I am going to go and be a responsible parent. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them in the group or on the comments here, and when I see them later, I will answer them. And there were a few folks or a few ladies who did not receive the day 1 email for some reason. So I will get to that later on today when I have a chance to sit at my computer without little hands trying to poke at the keys. And I will get it out to everybody who messaged me or emailed me that you didn't get it. So I will send it to you. And that is it. So, oh, we're repping our Halloween shirt already over here too. We're ready. You want to say bye? All right, I will talk to you guys. I will talk to you ladies tomorrow and see you in the group throughout the rest of the day. Thanks for joining me. Bye.